Hello, Merry Christmas. Welcome to another Vlogmas video. I'm super excited to be filming today's video because this is my 2022 most anticipated releases and I cannot wait. So I have made a list of my top 10 2022 most anticipated releases. Now this is a kind of preliminary list because obviously not all books have been announced yet for 2022, and also I'm going to accept that I'm not going to have remembered every single book I'm excited for, so I thought I'd just do top 10 of the ones that I've had a little research into and potentially have read from the author before, or it's the second book in a series, or I just thought the plot looked amazing. So this is my top 10 list. It's going to be in order of when these books are going to be released. Obviously these dates could well change. I'm going to try and find pictures of the covers, but I don't know if all of them have covers yet, so I'll pop pictures here if they do have their covers. But yeah, let's get into the video and go through my top 10 books. One of the things I am really bad at when filming these kind of videos is summarising blurbs, so I'm going to try and do that in a slightly different way and also use my phone to guide me with looking at Goodreads just so I can have an idea of what the book is about rather than trying to like memorize absolutely everything, because it just doesn't work for me and it ends up taking like ages and ages and ages for me to actually articulate what I'm trying to say. So yeah, if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my phone just kind of getting an idea of a bit more about the book so I can best describe it to you guys. So the first book comes out January 20th and it is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Soooo Lin Tan. I cannot wait for this, but look at that cover as well, like oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful. But this is the first in a romance duology. It is a fantasy based on Chinese mythology. It follows our main character who lives on the moon. She's kind of isolated and lives a very lonely life. Her mum's been exiled because she stole an elixir and they've kind of just been living this quiet life until our main character's powers spring up and she kind of has to hide herself because suddenly she's not going to go quite so under the radar. So she ends up entering back into this kingdom that I think they've been exiled from, and she disguises herself and tries to learn more about her magic whilst also trying to work out how to save her mum. And I think the two kind of clash against each other a little bit. There's a romance there as well, and she gets involved in a lot more dangerous stuff than I suppose she initially wanted to. So at the heart of this, it is a fantasy, it is a romance, but it also sounds like it's going to be quite a nice mother-daughter story, which I really enjoy. The main tagline at the bottom of the blurbs says, Daughter of the Moon Goddess begins an enchanting romance duology which weaves ancient Chinese mythology into a sweeping adventure of immortals and magic, where love vies with honour, dreams are fraught with betrayal, and hope emerges triumphant. And I just think it sounds fantastic. So that is going on the top of the list because that one is out on January 20th, so not long to wait for that one at all. Next up, we have got the February releases, because there was only one in the January releases, but 3 within February. So on February 1st, we have got Diana Urban's new book, which is called These Deadly Games. I really enjoyed Diana Urban's writing in All Your Twisted Secrets. I loved that. It was such a gripping thriller, so I'm very excited for These Deadly Games. So These Deadly Games follows a girl whose sister has been taken hostage, she's kidnapped, and in exchange for her sister's freedom, the kidnappers say that they want the main character to make her friends do things or like reveal things about her friends in order to save her sister, and if she doesn't do this, they're gonna kill her sister. So this is a kind of decision between her friends and her sister and like what she's gonna reveal about her friends and like how this will implicate her friends versus obviously making sure her sister stays safe and alive. So it looks like there's gonna be quite high stakes here. I don't know how like dangerous the stuff with the friends is gonna get, but it seems really interesting. The first book definitely left me gripped, and I think this one's gonna be full of a lot of twists and turns, so this one is on the list for sure. Okay, then we have got House of Sky and Breath. This comes out February 18th, 15th? I can't even read my own handwriting. 15th, I think. February 15th, and I am so looking forward to this. This is the second book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. This follows our characters from the first book as they try and like recoup from what happened in the events of the first book, which involved a mass disaster within a city, lots of different types of fantasy creatures coming into it, and our main character basically having to save the whole city from this threat. So this is like the follow-up to that, and I am really looking forward to this because I think of all of Sarah J Maas's books, I think I liked House of Earth and Blood the best. So to get the sequel, I'm very excited for, although I think I'm gonna have to reread the first book because I can remember, like visually I can see it playing out in my head, but I can't remember exactly everything that happened. I do remember how it ended. I'm a little bit nervous because we know that Sarah J Maas likes to do some jammy things in her books, particularly in the way of the romance, so I'm a little bit nervous as to what direction that's going to take, but I think by far this one is like one of my top most anticipated, just because I find them fun. They're not like amazingly written with like really intricate plots, like they're all kind of, all of the series from Sarah J Maas follow a similar type of arc with the stories, but I just find them fun. So this one is definitely on my list. Okay, next up we have Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This is the first in a trilogy that is a fantasy contemporary all about monsters and monster slayers. This one comes out on February 17th and it sounds so cool. This follows our main character who just wants to live a quiet life. She's quite nerdy. She just kind of wants to get by under the radar and have everything fall into place. She's actually also a monster though, which isn't great because her co-worker happens to be a monster hunter. So she teams up with this rival monster family guy to try and take down the monster hunter. I assume there's going to be some kind of love triangle going on here. I don't know what kind of monsters they are either and what like the fantasy system is here, but I enjoy the fact that it's a contemporary fantasy. So this one sounds really interesting and I've heard very good things about this so far from people that have been able to review the arc. So I am definitely intrigued by this one. Okay, entering into the March books on the 1st of March, we have again probably one of my most highly anticipated. We have Gallant by Victoria Schwab. And I'm so excited for this just because it's Victoria Schwab. The cover is stunning. I have ordered whatever edition it is from Waterstones, like there's a signed special edition or something. I've ordered that already. I'm just so excited for this book. So Gallant follows our main character Olivia, who seems to be some kind of link between our world and this shadow world. And she's grown up within this girls' boarding school and doesn't really know anything about her family or her home life until she's invited back to Gallant, which is I assume the name of like her house. And it seems pretty grand from what's on the front of the book cover. So she's invited back home and is not actually expected home when she gets there. So she's kind of met by some pretty surprised people. She discovers that there's actually a lot of strange stuff going on in this house and what's actually happening with her family and trying to work out who her family really are. And she's trying to work out if she wants to become a protector of this house and like have a place where she belongs. It sounds really interesting. It sounds quite gothic, obviously by the fact that it's saying it's similar to Crimson Peak. That would definitely imply some gothic elements there. But yeah, at the bottom as well, it adds in that it's not only just for fans of Neil Gaiman and Holly Black, but also Melissa Albert and Garth Nix will quickly lose themselves in this novel with crossover appeal for all ages. So that sounds great. I can't wait. An eerie standalone about life, death, and the young woman beckoned by both. Okay, great. I'm looking forward to that very much. I'm really sorry if this seems disjointed, by the way. I just really, for some reason, find it unnecessarily hard to regenerate words I've just read in a different way rather than just repeating them again. Next up on the 3rd of March, we have another Lucy Foley book. Lucy Foley is the author of The Hunting Party and also The Guest List. The Hunting Party is on my TBR for December and The Guest List I read last December, so I'm really excited for The Paris Apartment. So this, hopefully, is a much more simple plot for me to explain. This follows our main character who needs a bit of a break, so she goes to stay with her brother who lives in Paris. She turns up at his apartment and he's not actually there. He seems to have actually just gone missing entirely, and she starts interviewing and asking questions to the people in his life and realises that they're all covering something up. Lucy Foley writes such fantastic mysteries that I expect this one to be fully gripping, very exciting, and keep me on edge. Then we have Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May, and this comes out on the 31st of March. So this is taking place on Crow Island, which is an island where magic is kind of a whisper and just is there but not there as such, and it follows our main character who is confident that this whisper of magic is literally just rumours until she goes to a party and ends up getting involved in some stuff that proves that potentially it wasn't rumours, and she has to make the decision to step further and further into this world and find out what's going on. So yeah, she's drawn into this glittering haunted world and realises that this magic actually could be quite dangerous and of course enchanting. So this one again sounds really good fun. I like the idea of a different type of magic system and that it's kind of this secret magic and we have someone that doesn't know how to use this magic or hasn't experienced it before as a main character. So this one sounds really cool, and as I said, 31st of March for that one. Then I am really excited about this next one. We are entering into April now. This is the 14th of April and this is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. This is the second in the Amari series. What's it actually called? The Supernatural Investigation series, book number 2, and I cannot wait. I read Amari and the Night Brothers last month, November. I read them in November and I just thought it was fantastic. The creativity in this book is amazing. So this is the second book in a series. I don't want to spoil the first one for you, but I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of the world, in which Amari is invited to join this world that she never knew existed, and it's full of supernatural beings, and she wants to become an agent within this world so she can help to keep it safe. And she can suddenly see all these supernatural beings and interact with them, and notices that she actually has some abilities of her own. So this is the second book in that world. It's middle grade, it's fantastic, it's so creative, and I am very, very much looking forward to this one. I have ordered myself the signed hardback for this, and therefore also bought myself the hardback of Amari and the Night Brothers, because I have it in paperback and I want them to match, so I'm going to be very happy when they arrive. So as I said, that one is April 14th, and my next one is also April 14th. So this next one is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This one immediately grabbed me because it said it was like Ocean's 11, and I love those films, so I am really interested already, and the blurb just sounds absolutely amazing. So this is actually based on a true story of Chinese art vanishing from Western museums, and it follows somebody who has noticed this is happening, the art's vanishing, so to get the art back, they are going to perform their own art heist on an art heist to retrieve the Chinese art and put it back where it belongs to be. So this follows our main character, who has been approached by a Chinese corporation who are asking him to do something a little bit illegal and go and steal back 5 Chinese sculptures. These sculptures have been looted from Beijing centuries ago, and they basically want to retrieve them. So this person puts together a team, and this is what got me excited, because it describes the team and says his crew is every heist archetype one can imagine, at least the closest he can get. There's a list of all of the different characters that are going to be involved in this and the roles they play, and it just has me so excited. But it says each member of this crew has their own complicated relationship with China and the identity they've cultivated as Chinese Americans. When Will asks, none of them can turn him down, because if they succeed, they each earn $50 million and a chance to make history. But if they fail, it will mean not just the loss of everything they've dreamed of themselves, but yet another thwarted attempt to take back what colonialism has stolen. This has poetic language, a fun commercial hook, and a plot that spans the Western world. Portrait of a Thief is both a cultural heist and an examination of the Chinese-American identity. It sounds so interesting and different to anything I've read before, so yeah, this is the Portrait of a Thief. So my final book on this list is Babel, which is by R.F. Kuang, and this is out in August, on August 18th. R.F. Kuang is of course the author of the Poppy War series, and I am so excited to read more of her writing. The Poppy War trilogy was just absolutely fantastic, and Babel sounds very, very interesting. This also sounds like it has a complex plot for me to describe from the blurb, so it's a perfect one to end the video on. So just going to completely rely on Goodreads to help me out with this. This follows Robin Swift. It is set in 1828. Robin has been orphaned, and he has been training for years to enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel or Babel. I should know it, Babelfish. That was a website to translate. Is that still a website? Babelfish? Babel? I think it's Babelfish, I could be wrong. So this is the world's centre of translation, and more importantly of silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning lost in translation through enchanted silver bars to magical effect. So this is a fantasy. So this silverworking has aided the British Empire basically and made them unparalleled in their power. And Babel's research in foreign languages serves the Empire's quest to colonise everything it encounters. So our main character is very much torn because he is a Chinese boy raised in Britain, and he is basically contributing to this Babel society thing that is meaning he's betraying his motherland. So he then finds himself caught up between Babel and this new society called the Hermes Society, which is an organisation dedicated to sabotaging the silverworking that supports imperial expansion. So what will he sacrifice to bring Babel down is kind of the end question for this, and that's my summary of the blurb. I'm so bad at summarising blurbs. So this looks like it's going to be a pretty political fantasy all about this main character and his moral decisions as to where his allegiances lie and what route he wants to take and who he wants to help support. Okay, so that's all my most anticipated releases, well not all, but my top 10 for 2022. In chronological order. These dates may change, obviously sometimes they are pushed back or move forward a little bit, but I am very much looking forward to all of these. I hope this video made sense. I don't often film these kind of videos anymore because I'm just really rubbish at summarising, so hopefully you enjoyed my attempt at summarising. I wasn't looking at my phone too much, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas as well. It's weird pre-filming these videos and not knowing like how well Vlogmas is going yet, so I hope it's going well. I hope you're enjoying the videos. So if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you are looking forward to reading next year, subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. You can can also find my Patreon link down below with lots of extra content. And that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that's the outro. Yeah, thanks for watching. Keep smiling, stay positive, and Merry Christmas.